Hello, welcome to this week's Level 1 class. We're going to get started on our hands and knees now. We're going to build on last week's class. We're going to use the circle a little bit again, and we're going to try and work a little bit for our lower traps. So we're going to come onto our stomachs work there, and we're going to be up in our kind of boat pose position with the arms supporting us. But we'll start off with our warm up. We'll come onto the hands and knees. Hands below the shoulders, knees below the hips, tuck the elbows in, drop the ribs down to the mat, lift the head up, and then drop the head down, the ribs to the ceiling. Drop the wrist back down, lift the head up looking up in front, drop the head down, ribs to the ceiling again, drop the ribs down, looking up, drop the head down, ribs to the ceiling, one last one each direction. Perfect, and then flatten the back out, pick the left foot up, turn it out to the side, look at the toes, back in, right foot up and out to the side, back in, left foot up and out, and in, right foot up and out, left up and out, and last one on the right up and out, and then back in. Good. Tuck the elbows in, so the elbows pointing towards the toes. The toes are tucked underneath the feet. We're going to squeeze the abs, so you flatten your back, and you're going to lift the knees up a couple of inches off the mat, and just hold the knees there. Keep twisting the elbows back, and lower back down. And we're going to lift again, pinch the shoulder blades together and away from the ears, and lower back down. Two more. And lower, perfect. One last one. Lift the knees up, hold them there, and then lower back down. Good. We're going to bring the right leg or left leg back behind the body, right arm up in front, and circles with the heel and the hand. Keep the shoulders and hips as still as you can, and make those circles as big and wide as you can, and then change directions, just to make things complicated. Keep the elbow pointing back towards the toes, and then bring the arms and legs down. Right leg comes back, left arm up in front, big circles again. Start small and gradually make them bigger and rounder, and then change directions. Keep the hips and shoulders still. Imagine there's one of those weights balancing on your back, and you don't want it to roll off. Last one. And rest the arms and legs down. We'll turn over onto our stomach before we turn over onto our back. So rest the hips down, hands either side of the shoulders. And we're going to arch the back. We're going to come into extension. Keep the hips on the mat and extend the spine as much as you can. Again, keep the shoulder blades pinched down, and then come back down. So what we're doing here is, if the disc is in any way irritated in the back, as we come up, we start to squeeze the back of the disc. And the disc is like a jam donut. There's a soft centre to it, and there's a hard outside. And what happens is, if you squeeze one side from continuously bending forward, you start to squeeze the front, and you push that jam towards the back. When we come up like this, we start to squeeze that jam towards the front. And the problem with a disc is, you only start to feel pain when that jam works its way to the outer third of the ring. So the first 2/3, it works its way back, creates a little tunnel for the jam, so the jam in the disc, to push its way out the back. So what we need to do is we need to squeeze back in before you even feel anything. So this is a nice stretch to start to squeeze that centre. The nucleus propulsus, that's the jam, the fancy name for it. The nucleus propulsus gets pushed back towards the middle, and then rest down. So what we want to do is keep the hips down and arch the back as much as we can in that position. And when we're lying down flat, we don't get the muscles compressing the disc, so we can just squeeze everything back towards the centre without squeezing it too much. So resting our head on the block, imprint the spine, bring the rib cage down, hands by the side, chin is tucked in, bring the legs to tabletop, knees over the hips, and we're going to tap the toes off the mat, right and left, right and left. Nice soft taps. Focus on the imprint. Keep the rib cage down and have the upper body relaxed. Arms are just floating by the side, not floating, resting down onto the floor by your side, and shoulders relaxed. Good. And then you can tap the 2 feet. Again, focusing on the imprint. Keep the back flat. 2, 1. And then bring the feet down onto the mat. If you have your circle handy, or your cushion, you can get a hold of it now. Circle between the thighs, Have the feet about 4 to 6 inches apart. Keep the hips on the mat. We're going to squeeze and relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep the circle squeezed. Left leg and in. Right leg and in. Left and in. Right and in. Left and right. We're doing loads of work the last few weeks on the circle, and the circle is really important for the core. Rest the legs for a second. It's really important for the core. So you imagine the core is like a Coke can. The abs at the front, the obliques at the side. You've got your lower back extensors, the paravertebrals at the back. You've got your diaphragm at the top and your pelvic floor muscles at the bottom. And the circle works your pelvic floor muscles really, really well. And the core is only as strong as its weakest link, which most of the time is the pelvic floor muscles. So it's a great way to target them. Imprint the spine. Bring the legs to tabletop. Shins stay parallel. Squeeze and relax. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep the shins parallel. 7, 8, 9, 10. Left leg to the side. Right leg to the side. Left leg. Right leg. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Grab the legs and bring them down. Next set, we're going to extend the hips. So to 0 degrees, it's a straight line, and we're going to work the same thing again. So the adductors is different muscles in the inside of the thigh, and they all work at different angles. So we're targeting each of the muscles separately, and then we're going to start to add in a bit of rotation with the next set after these ones. So imprint the spine, squeeze the circle, lift the hips up, keep the rib cage down, drop the knees out and squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Left knee out, right knee out. Left knee, right knee. Keep the hips up. Left, right, left, right, left, right, and back in, and rest the hips down. Good. Little rest for a second. Next set, we're going to bring the legs to tabletop and circle between the ankles. So imprint the spine, legs into tabletop, circle between the ankles, and squeeze and relax. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep the shins parallel. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the knees, rest the legs for a second. Circle's very crackly today. Next we're going to do is straighten the legs to the ceiling. I'm going to do the same thing again. We're working the gracilis muscle. So we add a little bit of rotation control there. Next one is to get the gracilis, the final adductor muscle we haven't worked so far. Imprint the spine, legs to tabletop, circle between the ankles again, straighten the legs to the ceiling, squeeze and relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, knees point slightly out. 9, 10. Bend the knees, grab the circle, and bring the feet down. Keep the circle by your side. We're going to come back to it in a second. What we're going to do, we're going to bring the legs to tabletop and do our first set of hundreds. Imprint the spine. Actually, we'll change this one a little bit. You can use the circle for this. Imprint the spine. Bring the legs to tabletop. Circular cushion between the thighs. Hands by the side. Chin to the chest. Head and shoulders up. Squeeze the circle and beat the hands. 2, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 4, 5. And in. 2, 4, 5. And out. 2, 4, 5. In. 2, 4, 5. 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 Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the circle squeezed. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 2 breaths. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last breath in. And out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Rest the head down. Grab the circle and bring the feet down onto the mat. Good. For the next set, we're going to straighten the legs down onto the mat. We're going to bring the circle and the hands back behind the head. We're going to gently squeeze the circle. Pull the shoulders down away from the ear. Arms forward, chin to the chest. And roll up into sitting. Up nice and tall. And then control on the way down. 1, 2, chest forward at the end. 3, and back down. 4, and down. 5, and back down. 6, and down. Gentle squeeze in the circle. 7. Last 3. We're going to reach to the ceiling if you can. 8. 2 more. 9. Chest comes forward at the end. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Last one. Gentle squeeze in the circle. Up tall at the end. Straighten the spine. Keep the fingers pointing up as you roll back down. And then rest. Good. So bend the knees. So for the next set, we're going to do some flutter kicks. So imprint the spine. Holding onto the circle. Bring the hands up towards the ceiling. Drop the shoulder blades back to the mat. Gentle squeeze of the circle. Bring the legs to tabletop, maintaining that imprint. We're going to straighten the legs to the ceiling. Small little flutter kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the knees and bring the feet down onto the mat. Next set, very similar. We're going to go for a double leg stretch. So we're going to lower the 2 feet down towards the mat. Again, holding the circle in the hands. Straighten the arms to the ceiling. Gentle squeeze of the circle. Imprint the spine. Bring the legs to tabletop. Straighten the legs and lower and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend the knees and bring the feet down. Good. We're finished with the circle. You can leave that down to the side. The next exercise we're going to do another set of hundreds. So this time we're going to straighten the legs up towards the ceiling. After that, we're going to roll up into boat pose. We're going to do a few roll-ups to boat pose, and then we're going to start to work the lower traps while sitting in boat pose. So imprint the spine, bring the legs to tabletop, knees over the hips, hands by the side. Straighten the legs to the ceiling, chin to the chest and beat the hands. 2, 4, 5, breathe out. 2, 4, 5 and in. 2, 4, 5 and out. 2, 4, 5 and in. 2, 4, 5 out. 2, 4, 5 in. 2, 4, 5 out. 2, 4, 5 in. 2, 4, 5 out. 2, 4, 5 in. 2, 4, 5 out. 2, 5. Keep the knees directly over hips, legs as straight as you can. In. 2, 4, 5 out. 2, 4, 5. Last breath in and out. 2, 4, 5. Rest the head, bend the knees and bring the feet down. Imprint the spine, bring the legs to tabletop, hands come back behind the head, arms forward, chin to the chest and roll up onto the back of the hips. Chest comes forward and then control down onto the mat. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Chest forward at the end, straighten the spine and then collapse the spine and roll back down 1 vertebra at a time. 3, keep the heels off the mat, don't let them touch. 4, and back down. 5, good, and down. 5 more. 6, 7, control the last little bit, make sure you don't drop back down. 8, and down. 2 more. 9, back down. 1 last one. 10, chest is forward and roll down and rest the arms and rest the legs down. For the next set of exercises, we're going to come into boat pose and we're going to hold ourselves there. So this week's technique tutorial is teaser 2. I'm going to mimic some of those exercises, but to make it a little bit easier, we're going to prop ourselves up using our upper body, but that also allows us to target our lower traps and start to work on our shoulder position. So for every little modification you have, there's also an additional benefit to it somewhere else in the body, which is the good thing. Imprint the spine. Bring the legs to tabletop, hands back behind the head, arms forward, chin to the chest, roll into both pose and let the heels touch the mat. Bring the hands back either side of the mat. Hips, knees, shoulders at 90 degrees. The shoulders won't fully be 90 degrees, but try to get them as close to it as you can. Pinch the shoulder blades together so the chest and lower ribs come forward. Holding yourself in bow pose. We're going to keep the left heel on the mat for now. We're going to straighten the right knee and bend, and vice versa. Straighten the left leg. Right leg, left leg. Right leg, left leg. Right leg, left leg. And yeah, if you want to make any of these harder, hover the heels off the mat. If you want to be nice to yourself, keep them down on the mat. We're going to run through a series of them. Last one on the left leg. So keep the shoulder blades pinched, ribs coming forward, straighten the right leg and lower the heel, and into circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That left knee stays still. 8, 9, 10. Change directions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Straighten the left, lower it halfway, and circles. 2, 4, 5. Keep pushing that chest forward. 6. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. 9, 10. Change directions. 8. If the chest collapses back and the shoulders come up towards the ears, you lose all the benefit of this exercise. It just is an easier version of teaser 2. Keep pushing those shoulder blades back and chest forward as far as you can, and bend the left knee and rest the heel down. So teaser 2 is where we have the hands in front in bow pose, legs are extended, and we lift and lower the heels. We're going to start to come into some exercise for that, building our way up into it. We're going to keep the hands down. Sorry, I'm fixing the mat here. So pinch the shoulder blades together, and this time we're going to kick the 2 legs up. So sit back into the hands, extend the knees and bend. Let the heels come down each time. Extend and bend. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then rest the heels down. Next one we're going to do, we're going to extend the legs, lower the heels and bend the knees. So teaser is hard because we keep the legs straight the whole time. For this, we're going to straighten the legs up, lower and bend. And it makes it a lot easier for us. And again, it's to focus a little more on the shoulder blades and bring the benefits to there. So pinch the shoulder blades together, chest comes forward nice and far. We're going to extend the knees, lower, bend the knees. Extend, lower, bend. Extend, lower, bend. 3, 4, 5, 6. Sit back into the hands. 7, 3 more. 8, 9, one last one, and 10. Perfect. Rest down onto the mat, and we're going to turn over onto our stomachs. So flatten our stomachs. We're going to do a little bit for the lower traps here, and then we're going to stretch out at the very end. You can bring the headrest away if you want. 2 hands resting on top of each other. Rest the forehead on the back of the hands. Imprint the spine. Lift the arms, head and chest, and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. The secret here is you keep pinching the shoulder blades back and down, away from the neck. 8, 9, 10. And rest down. For the next one, we're going to focus a little bit more on the abs. We're going to bend the knees. Keep the knees together. Imprint the spine. Bring the rib cage as close to the pelvis as you can. Shoulders away from the ears. Lift and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Rest the legs back down. For the next one, we're going to bring the arms in front and bring your focus back into the shoulder blades and away from the core. So we're going to stretch the arms out, pull the shoulder blades away from the ears, imprint the spine, lift the hands, head and chest, and back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, keep pulling the shoulders away from the ears, 8, 9, last one, 10, and rest down. Fold the hands, or bend the elbows, hands on top of each other, and rest the head down. For the next ones, bend the knees, squeeze the abs. We're going to bring our focus back onto the core. We're going to keep the back as flat as we can. I'm going to lift the left knee, and lower, and the right knee, and lower, and the left, and the right, and the left, and the right, and the left, and the right, left, last one on the right, and lower back down, and straighten the legs. So it doesn't matter how high you lift the legs, it's just once you get the knee and thigh up off the mat, but you keep the back as flat as you can, the core engaged the whole time. Last one for the lower traps. Hands back by the side. You can turn the head to the side, or you can rest the forehead on the mat. You're going to lift the hands up, twist the thumbs out, and lift the chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep the chin tucked in. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and then rest back down. Perfect. Let's turn onto our side now, and we're going to stretch out a little bit. So bring the headlock back down, hand underneath the headlock, grab the front of the left thigh if you're lying on your right side, or the front of the right thigh if you're lying on your left side. Bring the bottom thigh in towards your chest, and bring the top leg back, so stretching at the front of the quads. Good, we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. So remember, the first 20 the muscle tightens up and flights back, and then that 20 to 30 seconds you get to stretch into the muscle. Keep the spine imprinted, back as flat as you can, stretching the knee back. Good, and then rest the leg down. Turn over onto the opposite side. And then the same thing. Grab the top leg, bottom knee into the chest, keep the back flat as you pull the top leg back nice and far, stretching the front of the quads. Perfect, and again, close to 30 seconds is what we want. Anything over 20, somewhere in the 20 to 30 second round is exactly what you want. Beyond 30 seconds, you don't get much benefits. Good, and then straighten the top leg down onto the mat. We're going to turn over onto our back, and we're going to stretch out the hamstring muscles. So head resting on the block, grab the back of the left thigh, straighten the left leg to the ceiling, hug the thigh to the chest. Good, and let the toes point to the ceiling. So we're not going to stretch sciatic nerve, we're going to focus on the muscle here. If anyone's been back into the gym this week, you're doing any hamstring work, any deadlifts, anything like that, you're going to find these muscles very tight. These are always the ones that cause the most trouble because you tend not to use them as much in everyday life. But once you start to lift weights, they become really, really important to create any power. So once you start lifting a few weights, you're going to feel these are the ones that tighten up the most. And then switch. Straighten the right leg to the ceiling, hug the right thigh to the chest, shoulders are away from the ears. And a nice gentle stretch into the back of the right thigh. Good. After this, we're going to stretch the piriformis deep into the hip. Again, another one you'll find a little sore if you've been back into the gym. Bend the right knee. Cross the left ankle over the right knee this time. Left hand between the thighs, right hand around the outside of the thighs, and hug the right knee in towards the chest, getting a stretch deep into the left hip. Good, and relax the shoulders as much as you can, keeping the chin tucked in. We're going to stretch the right hip, and then we're going to do a little bit from the neck at the end, and then we're going to finish with that. Perfect, and switch legs. Right ankle over the left knee, right hand between the legs, left hand around the outside of the left thigh. Head resting down, shoulders drop back, and hug the knee in towards the chest. And try not to hold much tension in the upper body, just enough to pull that knee in towards the chest, but try to relax the rest of the body. The more relaxed it is, the deeper the stretch you'll get into that right hip. Good, and then rest feet down. We'll come into sitting or into standing, whichever you prefer. Up nice and tall. Turn the nose towards the right armpit. Right hand over the top of the head. You should feel stretch into the left side of the neck and into the shoulder blade. You can move the head around a little bit and see if you find more of a stretch. Do you get more of a stretch as you turn forward into the scalenes, or is it always into that leverage of the scapula muscle at the back? So move the head in whatever way you want, where you feel most of the stretch. Come back towards the middle, turn the head to the left, and repeat to the opposite side. Again, looking down to start. Keep the spine up nice and tall, so we can get as much of a stretch into the neck as we can. And then you can always turn the head forward, bring the ear to the shoulder instead of the nose to the shoulder, and see if you get more of a stretch on the side of the neck instead of the back of the neck and into the shoulder blade. So find where your tight spots are in the shoulders and just focus on them. But try to hold that one position for 30 seconds, because as each individual muscle gets stretched, it'll fight back for the first 20. So if you're constantly moving around, all the muscles in turn will contract and relax. As you put attention into them, they contract a little bit more, so you never get the full stretch. You want to hold one position for at least 20 seconds. Perfect. Come back to the middle, we'll finish with that, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.